Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we're going to be doing something different as we're checking out a mod which is in development and getting closer and closer to release. If you're not versed in the Warhammer fantasy universe, what you're seeing on screen right now is a modder's interpretation of the famed demon Skaven, the Verminlords. The Verminlords themselves are greater demons of the Horned Rat, and in fact the only demon units that they have access to. For context, these are what Verminlords currently look like on the tabletop, and as you can see, the Total War Warhammer mod is heavily inspired upon that. So what you're seeing on screen right now is the Verminlord Deceiver. Keep in mind that anything that you're seeing on screen is of course a work in progress. But I'd say so far that the model itself looks absolutely great, and I have been able to speak with the modder Xenon directly regarding this mod. In fact, he granted me early access so I could check it out a little bit more in detail. The Verminlords will of course be introduced for your Skaven campaigns, and you'll be able to summon one out of the 4 unique Skaven Verminlords. These are of course the Warbringer, the Deceiver, the Corruptor, and the Warpseer. Only the Deceiver at the moment is able to be shown at a presentable level, but there will be 4 different ones which will have some variety in terms of aesthetic, of course, and uses on the battlefield. It is important to note that while this is very heavily inspired upon the tabletop and the lore, Xenon the modder has told me that he plans to change it around a little bit. He wants to make the Verminlord his own while still keeping it as lore friendly as possible. The quality of the model is absolutely fantastic. In fact, you've probably seen Xenon's work before if you've played the Skaven Stormfiend mod, as he also worked on that too. It is important to note that the horns for the Verminlord were created by Becky Collins, and you can find a direct link to her art station in the description below. Currently, the Verminlords in-game don't have too much about them, but then again, this is why it's not out to the public yet. The characters will lack special skills at the moment, and obviously need to be rebalanced in terms of stats. They need to be a little bit more powerful, as of course these are greater demons. But I have been told by the modder that work is progressing at a very decent pace, and he doesn't imagine that this would take too long to release. Of course, work like this cannot be rushed if it's going to look and play well, but Xenon has told me that he's considering possibly releasing one Verminlord at a time, so that way it can get out to the public even faster. So with all that information given, how exactly will we see the Verminlords function in game? Of course, you'll be able to use them in custom battle, but you can also recruit them in your campaign where they'll function as legendary lords. But how to recruit them will be a little bit different. To summon a Verminlord, you'll need to have an Undercity, and these Undercities will have its own unique building tree. Of course, it won't be as simple as that, where you'll have a massive amount of discoverability, which means that you'll need to try and keep that Undercity as hidden as possible, as you need a fair amount of turns to be able to summon the Verminlord. You'll also have to pay a decent amount of food and upkeep per turn before the greater demon itself has been summoned. And it's not going to be cheap, but then again, if you're summoning a new legendary lord which is going to be fairly powerful, it's expected that of course it's not going to be cheap. Only one of each type of Verminlord is able to be summoned, so you can have 4 in total per campaign, which isn't too bad. That means that you'll have 4 greater demons running around the campaign map, and all 4 of them are expected to act fairly differently, so you're going to get a different playstyle out of each of them. The modder Xenon has told me that he's going to base it more around the clans that they're focused on rather than just the generic sense. So maybe we might see some more in the future given that there are 6 playable clans. Of course, I imagine that's subject to the popularity of the mod as it starts releasing, but there is a lot of promise here. I've been playing around with the mod in custom battles, and while there is of course no spells and so on, the character model itself looks pretty damn good and plays fairly well. I've not seen too many issues barring a few clipping issues here and there, but obviously this is because this is a work in progress and still quite early access on my behalf. I believe the base model used to create the Verminlord was use Khazrak the One-Eye, which is actually really impressive. It's amazing how one character can be so twisted and turned into something completely different. There's a lot of potential with this mod. As I said, there's no current release time just yet, but as soon as I know something, I will obviously keep you guys updated. But the Verminlords have always been very highly requested by the fanbase, as it's the only Skaven demon, and admittedly they look very impressive. It's still likely that we could see Verminlords implemented in an official way, even with the End Times model, as we are aware that the End Times models are still usable in Total War Warhammer. We've recently found that out with the Keeper of Secrets being using its Age of Sigmar variant. But I imagine by the time that the Verminlords do release officially, it's going to be much later down the line. I'm talking a few years into the DLC cycle for Warhammer 3, as we've already received a lot of Skaven content for Warhammer 2. Thankfully until then, mods come into play, so I'm really curious to see how this pans out as development progresses. Here's hoping that the next time I'll be able to showcase this mod, I'll be able to showcase any spells, abilities, and skills. Of course, this might take a while as, well, the modder does have a life, a job, and so on, so we can't expect this to be rushed out for next week, for example. Though from what I've seen so far, it is extremely impressive, and, well, I wasn't expecting Verminlords even through mods just yet, so this is a welcome change. What do you guys think so far in regards to the Verminlord showcase? Are you excited for a mod like this? Keep in mind that the modder himself will be looking at the comments of this video for any visual feedback, ideas that you may have, and so on. So some words of encouragement will also be very gratefully appreciated. But until then, when news comes out again or I get access to a newer build, I'll keep you guys updated. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel has been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very soon. Have a good day.